Okay, this is Eddie, and yeah, it's got a lot of this stuff in there, but I would have actually left the stripe on it rather than making it red because that allows us to see the rotation, and with a solid color, you can't see the rotation of the ball. The other thing is putting in a ground plane. The animation, it's stretching a little, but it doesn't look like it's squashing. So let's take a look in Maya. Another thing is going through the ground. I mean, you haven't put a ground plane in there. Of course, the ground plane could be anywhere, but normally you would put the ground, at 0, so that, which means that when you're animating, to make it touch the ground, I'm going to grab my translate curve here. You're going to want to move it up. So this is at 1, and I'll just select all these and change those to 1 exactly. Okay. So now see how it's touching the ground plane. And so what I'm saying with the squash is that um, instead of squashing, it's just uh, it's just going to the normal size, and instead it should be squashed. And then again here and here, and is there another one here? And let's see if we like that. See the difference? And then I'll put on the wireframe unshaded so I can see if there's any. Oh, okay. It looks like you didn't do the rotation for whatever reason. So the idea was to have it rotating. Where's the rotate control? The red one. Yeah. So you can, you know, I'll just do Shift E to keyframe the rotates, and then, rotate it around however much. I don't know, maybe one full time or something like that. I've got auto keyframe on right here. So you can see it rotating as it bounces. Um, so yeah, those are a couple fixes on that. Let's take a look at the realistic bounce. Um, in this case, you've got your Y translate is you haven't edited the tangents on the Y translate curve, so that's why it looks really wrong because it's like slowing down as it approaches the ground rather than speeding up. We can take a look in Maya, and I'll show you what I mean. Um, So what controls did you use to move the ball? It looks like on this one you used that, and got this right here. And see how it's speeding up, and then at the bottom it slows down, so it doesn't feel right. So we need to take all these, break the tangents with this button, and move these up to get a nice bounce shape. Because whether it's cartoony or realistic, it will accelerate as it's falling, and it's at its fastest point, hence the steepest point on the curve, just as it's hitting the ground. So just whoops, not that one. It's a little hard to pick this one. There we go. I might take this guy and move him to the middle there. Alright, something like that. Anyway, you can see where these shapes are much better. And so you can see how much more bouncy that looks. Compare that to has that slow in, slow out thing at the bottom. And the forward momentum is just kind of funny. I mean, a realistic ball can have kind of weird, so a sort of surprising, um, with forward momentum. But in this case, it doesn't look like there's much justifying it. So you have this weird kind of speeding up and slowing down thing here, and I would just probably delete that and maybe make this linear. I mean, if anything, you can have it slow down a little bit towards the end, or more, but not all this speeding up and slowing down throughout. So, and also there's sort of some hang time in there. But so yeah, I think the realistic one really needs some work. Certainly, at the very least, getting the tangents fixed on the y translate, but also just kind of more observation and trying to make the movement and timing look more realistic.